So often while we're looking at secondary aging and looking at disease in secondary aging, we only focus on the individual who is sick and we forget to look at the individual who's the caregiver. So for my project, I'm looking at my grandma, who is the primary caregiver for my grandpa, who is suffering from Parkinson's disease. So I'm just really looking at how she helps him and how that really affects her development, and how often we forget as a society how consuming of energy that is to take care of someone with Parkinson's.
Hello, I'm Irina Kilgore, and this is my husband Quentin. We've been married for 58 years.
Hi, I'm Bill. My dad is Quentin. He has Parkinson's, and my mother takes care of him.
I'm Andrea Kilgore, and Quentin and Irina are my in-laws.
How long have you been married to Quentin?
58 years.
And how long did you live in your previous home?
Around 40 years.
And how long have you lived here?
A year and a half.
This is the original home where Quentin and Irina Kilgore started their family. They've been living here for 40 years until about 2 years ago when the new family of the Kilgores moved in, Bill and Andrea. And this is the cottage where Quentin and Irina Kilgore now live. It's right by their church, which is really nice. And then there's other cottages in the nursing home. And this is part of a nursing home, so they have care that can come to them when needed, so that's really nice for them. Okay, and then why did you end up moving up to this house?
Because our son and his family was moving from Colorado, and we wanted to get into a smaller home.
And why did you think that a smaller home would be better?
Less work for me to do.
Some extra things that you do around their house and in their lives to help them out?
Oh, we've done shopping for Mom for groceries. We moved back to Kansas.
That's kind of a big one.
It's a small thing. Yeah, we relocated just not only for them, but just to keep the house in the family. Odd jobs around the house, light bulbs, things like that. Things that Mom can't do. Cool.
Why did they end up moving out of this house, or their old house?
They needed to get to a place that was on the same level, a single level, with the ground level, where there were no stairs involved for Dad. They needed a smaller place for Mom to take care of, tend to. And we, for the last year of getting them prepared to move, we made several trips home from Denver to assist them in getting the house ready and everything. And then eventually, about a month after we moved them to the assisted living, we moved into this house, moved to their own house.
How long do you think the Parkinson's disease had been with him until it started affecting her emotional stage?
Well, you probably could, I think we could tell that she was emotionally affected by it when it would come to times when she couldn't care for him completely. She'd have to call for help. When she wasn't able to give all the care that he needed, that's when it started affecting her.
What do you help him do?
If he needs help, I help him out of his chair. I help him out of bed. I help him in the bathroom with showers and so forth. Just things that he isn't able to do on his own, I can help him take care of.
what were some new tasks that you started noticing she was doing around the house that she used to not do?
Helping him to the bathroom, physically helping him out of his chair, things like that, the physical help and assistance.
So what all does she help him do?
Pretty much everything. She gets him up to go to the bathroom, she gets him out of his chair to go take a nap or go to bed at night. She gets him, helps him get out of bed, for that matter. There's times when she gets him up and it's a big struggle. It takes 5-10 minutes to get him up and get him moving. There's other times when he'll pop up without any help all of a sudden, so we don't know if that's, part of the disease manifesting itself, coming and going kind of. And sometimes it seems like if she's not there, he's a little bit less dependent on help. We kind of wonder if that's part of the disease too, because I can't, the way that they do their little routine of getting him out of his chair, I can't imagine him wanting to do that if he didn't have to. So I think that if he's taking advantage of her help, then it's not on purpose, not a conscious thing. But sometimes it can be that literally anything that he needs done, she needs to help him with.
Has any of this affected your sleeping habits?
I get up about every 2 hours or 3 hours with him at night, but then I go right back to sleep, so it's really not a big problem.
How do you think the Parkinson's disease has affected them socially?
The way I noticed it was when they weren't able to come out and visit us when we were still living in Denver, or they weren't able to go out with their friends as much or go to family functions as much.
And now, what does their usual social circle consist of?
They're pretty much at home a lot of the time. She goes out to do grocery shopping some, but they're home most of the time. He doesn't get out to church, and they're not going out to social functions much at all.
And how do you think that's affected her aging development?
I think that's taken a bit of a toll on just not getting out as much and having as much exercise of all of that. I think it's definitely aged her some.
What type of sacrifices have you seen her have to take?
Well, she pretty much has given up most of all of her whatever social life she had. There was a time last summer when she was having coffee with some friends, and Dad called me to have me go get her to have her come help him to go to the bathroom or something. And that was a bit abrupt, I guess. Also, she pretty much has to get up every time he gets up at night to help him to the bathroom, so she doesn't sleep the night at all. So she sacrifices her sleep, she sacrificed her social life. Another example of that is our small group from the church meets here Wednesday nights. Normally the first 15 or 20 minutes we sit around and visit before we get going with whatever the lesson for the night is, or whatever the program is. And then we go for an hour after that. So that keeps her out of the home for 90 minutes, and that might be a little bit longer than Dad's comfortable with. So the other day she told me, well, I think I'll come over at 7:20. That way I can skip the first part when we're not doing anything and just be there for the lesson, so that I can get back to your dad. And so she's given up her whole life, but she probably wouldn't. She'd be the last person to tell you that it's a big sacrifice. She's of the thought process that she married him and that's her duty, for better or for worse, and she's not going stop that. But she's not going to stop thinking that. She's not going to stop doing that until she can no longer do it.
And has being the primary caregiver affected your social outings any?
I don't go as much as I used to, but I still go some of the time.
Think this is affecting her health?
Before we moved back, I talked to our pastor, Mom and Dad's pastor, and the talk around the church was that they hoped that Bill and Andrea could get home as soon as possible in case it's too late for Irina, because Mom was really, I guess, showing signs of being just totally worn out at that point. And we've seen her physical decline in the last 2 years. Part of it's age, but part of it's probably the stress that she puts on herself helping Dad. She's losing memory more and more. There's probably related somehow to that. She's tired. She can't sleep through the night. She just seems worn down sometimes.
Because I love my husband and he needs care, and I'm happy to do it for him.
He is the love of her life, and she is so devoted to him that she will do absolutely everything in her power to do everything for him, so that when all of this is over, she will not have any regrets about what she was able to do for him.
Okay, so through this whole process, it is really interesting to see how a caregiver could really have the burnout of being that primary caregiver. In my grandma's case, you know, a lot of our family really are pretty vocal about how they think her care, being the main caregiver, is really starting to affect her development. But I think the coolest thing that I've seen throughout this process is just seeing how devoted she is to my grandfather, and how she would absolutely not change anything, and she doesn't mind waking up every hour to take care of him. And that was the coolest part of the project.